Hello, church, and welcome to another episode of DCC Daily. My name is Nielander, and I get the pleasure of serving as a Collegeman Discipleship Director here at Downtown Community Church. I'm grateful to get to be with you for a moment here today while we talk about daily liturgies of life. And as we talk about liturgy, we have to take a second to define what a liturgy is. We can define liturgy broadly as a form of public religious worship, and more narrowly as the sacraments that exist within Christian worship, like prayer or communion. Now, I'm sure if I asked you what your three biggest life problems are, there's absolutely zero chance that you would even approach the word liturgy in your answer. However, I have become increasingly convinced that the liturgies we encounter on a daily basis are the single biggest determinant of our spiritual health, and that our spiritual health informs every other part of our life. If this is true, you can see why understanding liturgy in our life is so consequential. A liturgy is anything that is teaching you to love something. With that, it appeals not mainly to the mind, but to the heart, and usually without being detected. We tend to operate under the false assumption that the way sin works is that we're presented with a decision, we make thoughtful analysis, and choose the best option. Sinners choose the bad, and Christians choose the good. But if you've been a Christian for 4 seconds, you know this isn't the case. So why is that? Why is it that when we're presented with a choice between obedience to God or sin against God, and we have all the right reasons to obey, we still fall into temptation? Perhaps it's because our actions are really the result of what we love. And what we love is formed subconsciously through our habits. Allow me to illustrate. In late December, I got all the social media off of my phone because I knew it was killing my day. I knew it was stealing my time and my joy. But I justified YouTube. I said, let me keep YouTube, and I left it on my phone. In the moments that, throughout the coming months, in the moments my brain felt the need for entertainment, I began resorting to 2-minute baseball highlights, which is honestly the best way to watch baseball. This became my daily liturgy, if you will. And this led to all kinds of highlights, to wrestling highlights, to movie highlights. Before I know it, I'm watching a bearded Ryan Gosling yelling in the rain. And my entertainment consumption became nothing but a highlight reel. I noticed 2 changes in myself from this practice. One, by watching so many 2-minute YouTube videos, I absolutely shredded my attention span. But more than that, I found my own expectations of life in general begin to shift into a highlight reel mindset. I expect to hit a home run now every time I see a pitch in church league softball, and I expect every human interaction I have to be the most profound interaction either of us have ever had. The daily liturgy of highlights has set me up to be utterly disappointed with reality. And I want to ask you this: what are the ways in which your loves are being subconsciously formed? Now, this was a mild example, but what is this for you? I encourage you to pray and ask the Lord where and how your desires are being misshaped. Ask Him how the daily liturgies of prayer, song, the Word, and more might reshape what you love. And as we draw near to the throne, we get to cling to the beautiful promise of Philippians 4:18, that when we draw near to God, He will draw near to us. We can confidently let our loves be reshaped to love Jesus with the assurance that He has His hand all over the process. And I'll leave with this. In his book on theory of learning, it's called Communities of Practice, Etienne Wenger tells the story of 2 stonecutters who are asked what they're doing. One responds, "I am cutting this stone into a perfect square." The other said, "I am building a cathedral." Now, I'm sure the first builder was embarrassed afterward, thinking, "Oh yeah, I forgot that's what we were doing. I just got caught up in cutting these squares. I forgot we were building a cathedral." And this is my exhortation to you, that every day you're building something with the liturgies, those daily shaping practices that you have. And my friends, don't forget you're building a life. Whether you know it or not, there's no stone that won't be put into what you are building with your life. At least be cognizant of what you're teaching your heart to love. It'll be the difference between building a cathedral that teaches your heart to love your Creator or building a shopping mall that teaches you to love created things. And with all this, I drew heavily from Jamie Smith's book, You Are What You Love, for this quick podcast, so I would commend that book to you heartily if this idea captivates you the way it has me. So, thank you for listening to this episode of DCC Daily. Keep up with our church via our social media pages, our YouTube channel to access previous sermons, and our Sunday services, both in person and online. I pray you receive liturgies this week that shape your heart towards Christ.